Hello students, today we are going to start session 11, Protect Health and Safety at Work. This is the last session in the unit Web Applications and Security. An organization can face some health hazards that could put the lives of employees in danger. While working at a particular workplace, any of the employee or any of the person can face some health issues due to which his life can be in danger. There can be different types of hazards depending upon the industry and the environment in which the particular employee works. Now the different types of hazards can be physical hazard like slip or fall, chemical hazard like if any person is working in a chemical factory or industry, there can be the use of pesticides and paints which can lead to chemical hazards, biological hazards like sewage, insects, fungi, and mechanical hazards which are related to machinery like crushing, tearing, and spraining. So, in order to prevent ourselves from such hazards at workplace, the workstation. What is a workstation? It is the area where you work, where your computer is placed, or the area, the table and the area where you work. So how should be your workstation? Your workstation should provide the sufficient space for the user to alter the position comfortably. Like you are sitting on a chair on near a table, and there should be sufficient space for you so that you can change the position as and when you require. Second is, your workstation should provide adequate lighting. The place where you are sitting, it should have adequate lighting so you do not have the strain on your eyes when you are working on the computer. Third is, it should have windows fitted with adjustable covering to alter the sunlight level. Alter means to change. The windows should be adjustable coverings. The windows should have adjustable covering so that the sunlight level can be changed. If there is more sunlight, you can just close the window, or it can have some handle so that it can be a little closed, and when you require it to be opened, it can be opened properly. And the last point for the workstation is, it should be spacious enough when a workstation is shared by more than one person. Sometimes it happens that there is something you need to ask from a colleague, or your colleague needs to ask from you something regarding the work. So that time the workstation needs to be shared by more than one person. So it should be spacious enough. It should not be such that if two persons are sitting, then you are not sitting comfortably. Next is about the keyboard. How should be the setting of the keyboard? The keyboard should be able to tilt easily and should be able to separate from the screen to allow the user to adopt a comfortable working position. That is, tilt means you should be able to move the keyboard easily. It should not be such that the wire of the keyboard is very small that you are not able to move, and even if you are moving, the other devices are also moving with it. So it should not be like that. And it should be able to separate from the screen so that user can work on it comfortably. Then next point is, it should have space in front to provide support for the hands or arms of the user. Then it should have a matte surface. What is the meaning of matte surface? That when the keyboard is placed on a surface, that surface should be plain. It should not be rough, and it should not reflect the lights. And next point is, it should have clearly legible symbols on the keys. The keyboard on which you are working, the keys of the keyboard should have the symbols or the digits or the alphabets written on it clearly. Sometimes it happens that if we make use of a keyboard for a long time, then what happens is some of the symbols or the keys start just disappearing. The symbols on the keys start disappearing. So we need to take care of this one. If this case happens, then you need to change your keyboard, and whatever you are using, it should have the clearly legible symbols. Legible means clearly written symbols, neat and clean. Next is about the display screen. Display screen is your monitor. So it should display well-defined characters of adequate size and spacing. Whatever the text or the pictures or the images are being displayed by the display screen, they should be adequate size and spacing so that there is no strain on your eyes. The display screen should have a stable image, that is the size of the screen, you can say. It should be proper. Then it should have easily adjustable brightness and contrast. Brightness should be proper. It should not be too much high or it should not be too much low. It should be able to tilt and swivel easily to suit the user. Tilt means it should be able to move easily, little movement is allowed, and swivel means you are able to turn it a little, so that even if you require sometimes your display screen to be shown to your colleague or anybody else, it can be moved easily. Next is it should be free from glare and reflections. There should be no shiny surface on this one so that it does not affect your eyes. And the last point for display screen is you should use a separate base for the screen or an adjustable table. It should not be such that the display screen is fully attached to the table, so that even if something happens on the table, like something just falls down on the table, then it affects the display screen also. So you can say that it should use a separate base screen so that it does not alter or it does not affect the other devices. Next we have how should be our work surface. This is our table, or you can say the workstation and our computer where we are working. So how should be our work surface? The place where you are working should provide adequate space for the user. That is, user should get ample space. It should not be too much tight. It should not be too much comfortable. Then work surface should have a low reflective surface. The surface on which you are working, it should not reflect too much light, otherwise it may affect your working. And third is it should be of adequate size to allow screen, keyboard and other peripherals to be flexibly arranged. The place where you are working, it should have sufficient space so that all your equipments come easily and there is little space for other things to also to come. Like we can have keyboard, mouse, or you can say pen, paper, or a notebook and a document folder. It should have a stable and adjustable document holder which should be at the same level as the screen and at the same viewing distance. Sometimes we need to keep so many folders at near our table or at our table. So for that, in order to not make it dirty, in order to keep our table clean or work surface clean, we can just have a document folder. Now you can see in the picture, this is a document folder where all the documents are properly arranged stack by stack. So what it does, it makes the table or the work surface neat and clean and organized. Now sometimes it happens that there are hazards in an organization, and in that case there are sometimes such hazards that we need to move out of our company or the workplace in which you are working, that is in case of an emergency. So whenever an emergency is there, there should be provision for evacuation. Evacuation, what is evacuation? The process of emptying a place in case of an emergency. That is, कभी भी emergency होती है तो आपको उस place को खाली करना पड़ता है. That is known as evacuation. So every company must ensure the following points for evacuation in case of an emergency. What are those points? First point is evacuation policy. अब wherever the workplace you are working, every organization has an evacuation policy. हर organization की अपनी एक policy होती है कि कभी भी अगर emergency आ जाती है तो what you need to do. So even if you are a new employee or you are working in an organization from so many years, you should be informed about the policy time to time by your team leaders. Team leaders are responsible for informing the policy to the employees, and all the employees, whether you are a new employee or an old employee, you should pay proper attention to such policies, because emergencies don't come planned. They are the unexpected situations. Next is designated assembly points. So as told before ki every organization has an evacuation policy. Similarly, every organization has a designated assembly point, a particular point where all the employees have to assemble in case any mishappening or emergency happens. So they have a designated assembly point, and every employee or the worker must know ki where it is. Next we have is buddy system. Now what is the meaning of buddy system? Sometimes there are some people working in an organization who are differently abled, or they are the people with special needs. So for that we need to create a buddy system, and these people need to be helped and guided out of the impacted area properly. That is the area where the emergency has been declared. They need to be moved out from that area. Now what is this buddy system? That you are a friend to any differently abled or any person with the special needs, and in case any emergency occurs, it is your duty, you should ensure that your buddy, that your friend is safe at the assembly point with you. All of you know that buddy refers to the friend, or you can say the best friend. So whenever such thing happens, you should take care of your friend and make him safe along with you. Next is understanding of the floor plans. As you all know, nowadays the MNCs which are working outside India or inside or in India, what happens is they have floor wise operations. Like on one floor marketing must be going on the other floor sales must be going on the other floor retail is going on. So you should have the understanding of the floor plans. That is, you should know every floor's exit area in case emergency happens. Floor plans with evacuation routes in work areas should be understood properly. Floor by floor, like you are working on a particular floor, so you should know how to move out from that floor, how to evacuate from that floor in case any emergency happens. And next is assembly areas. As discussed before, assembly areas are already designated by the companies or the workplace, so that should be properly taken care of. One point is you should be aware कि where the assembly point is. आपको पता होना चाहिए कि कहाँ पे आपको जाना है in case any emergency occurs. Second point is जो भी आपकी कंपनी का या workplace का assembly point, assembly area or assembly point is there, that should be well maintained by the people who are taking care of it. Next is conduction of evacuation drills. Time to time there are many companies who conduct the evacuation drills. यानी कि वो time to time आपको training देती हैं कि how you have to move out of your workplace or how you have to move out of your impacted area in case any such thing happens. So these types of drills should be done periodically in every organization. And if you are working in any of the organization, or every employee of the organization needs to pay attention to these drills, so you can save your life as well as you can help to save someone else's life also. So these were some of the hazards which we have learned and how to take care of the hazards when you're working at a workplace. Now next topic is healthy living. As you know that healthy mind resides in a healthy body. If you are healthy, if your body is healthy, then only your mind can be healthy. So healthy living has a lasting impact on an individual, which gives healthy environment at your home as well as your workplace. If you are healthy and happy, you will always perform best to your ability. What does a healthy lifestyle include? It includes healthy eating habits. If you want to remain healthy, you should have healthy eating habits. You should not eat too much of junk food, and you should have in your breakfast or dinner or lunch healthy things. Next is physical activities. These are must for you. Physical activities are required, that is exercise, yoga, meditation, if you want to have your healthy lifestyle. Stress management. Day by day, when we are working in day-to-day life, there can be stress of the workplace, there can be stress at home. So you should know when you have to or how you have to manage the stress. Healthy mind. You should have good thoughts in your mind, relieve the stress and put good thoughts in your mind every morning you get up. Sound sleep. This is a very much important factor. Sleeping for 6 to 8 hours is very much necessary. Otherwise, you will feel sleepy the full day. So better you have a sound sleep, which will help you to lead a healthy lifestyle. And the last point in the healthy lifestyle is goal setting. If you want to remain healthy or you want to have a healthy lifestyle, you should have a goal in your mind. Every day you should wake up with a goal and just fulfill it till the end of the day. So these were all the points related to this session. Now comes the assignment part. First question says, name the different types of hazards. This we have discussed: physical, chemical, biological and mechanical. You can write down their examples also. Second question says, write 3 properties for each one in order to protect ourselves from the hazards. So you have to write down the properties like how your workstation should be, how your keyboard should be, how your display screen should be, and how your work surface should be. At least 3 points for each you have to write down. Okay. And now the third question says, explain the important points to be ensured in case of an emergency. In case any emergency happens at your workplace, what should you do in case of that emergency? You have to write down the names of the 4 points as well as explain them. This we have discussed. Then next we have fourth question. What does a healthy lifestyle include? Write at least 4 points. This also we have discussed just now. I hope the assignment, all the questions are clear to you. Complete all your assignments.
Thank you.